Hello. We have been going over the 324 biblical prophecies that prove Jesus is the Messiah. You are watching this on the Hologoy channel of YouTube. I'm a Hologoy. You can be one too. The first 18 of these biblical prophecies took us on a journey through the story of Genesis, the book of beginnings. A question was coming to me while reading through the book of Genesis. How is it possible that people in a time prior to the existence of the blood sacrifices of the temple could find themselves with relationship with God? After all, isn't the blood sacrifice necessary to interact with God? The book of Genesis is full of people who lived sinful lives. From the beginning of the stories towards the end, we find page after page of people that were not perfect. But yet God's, on some level, still interacted with them. Let's look at a few of these stories. Cain. Cain is known in a very notorious way as the first murderer. He killed, well, basically the only other person in existence in his generation. He killed his own brother in a spit of jealous anger. God comes to him and says, listen, your brother's blood is crying out to me from the ground. I'm sending you out of my sight, out of my presence. You are going to become a wanderer. And Cain is very, very downtrodden at this information. He feels very horrible about this. Perhaps not the most pure of repentance, but yet he cries out to God and says, this punishment is more than I can bear. You are driving me from the land. I will be hidden from your presence, be a restless wanderer on the earth, and whoever finds me will kill me. Cain is crying out to God. God responds to him. He says, not so. If anyone kills Cain, he will suffer vengeance 7 times over. Then the Lord put a mark on Cain, so no one who found him would kill him. So Cain, even though he was a horrible murderer and was being cast out from God's presence, was not being cast out from God's protection. He was still under the protective wing of the Almighty. And God made certain that everyone was aware of this, and nobody could attack him without receiving the vengeance of God. Let's look at another dirty, rotten sinner. Ham. Noah's son Ham, well, he treated Noah and his father in an improper manner. He mocked him. He disgraced his father in front of his brothers. And when Noah came out of his drunken stupor, Noah cursed Cain. Cursed be Cain, the lowest of slaves. He will be the lowest of his brothers. Blessed be the Lord, the God of Shem. May Cain be the slave of Shem. May God extend the territory of Japheth. May Japheth live in the tents of Shem, and may Cain be his slave. It would seem as if Cain is in a bad state here. There's no hope for him. And if you read a light reading of the Bible, you would get the impression that Cain was pretty much wiped out by the children of Shem. If you read the Bible a little bit more fully, you would realize that in the book of Joshua, the children of Cain, some of the children of Cain, came to the children of Israel and said, look, we want to make a treaty with you. They made a treaty they remained slaves, as this prophecy says. They remained slaves attached to the tabernacle, attached to the holiness of God. They were the ones who provided the water and the firewood for the tabernacle. And in the book of Judges, when everyone else was falling away from the correct path, because of their slavery, the children of Cain in the Gibeonites, the children of Cain were forced to remain loyal to God. Somehow this curse turned into a blessing. And people remained with their walk with God. Another dirty, rotten sinner, Hagar, the mistress of Abraham. The mistress who didn't treat her Sarah with the respect that she should have. She was rebuked by Sarah, and then she ran away. An angel of the Lord came to her and said, "Go back to and submit to Sarah." She does go back and submit to Sarah. Hagar remained with a relationship with God because she repented and she did what she was supposed to do. Her son, Ishmael. Her son Ishmael also treated the child of Sarah improperly. He was sent out from the family. Supposedly, he was going to die. The angel of the Lord came, saved his life, protected him. He was able to rise. He was able to grow in the desert. And God, it says in the Bible, God was with him in the desert. In other words, he had a walk with God. Esau, another one of the sibling rivalries in the story of Esau. Esau had a lot of reason to be upset. The blessing was taken from him. The birthright was taken from him. He had a number of years to mull over his difficulties. But when his brother Jacob came back, his brother Jacob sent his family out ahead, something touched the heartstrings of Esau. And when Esau finally met Jacob, instead of killing him, he put his arms around him. Esau was the father of many nations. Some of these nations were in very strong opposition to Israel. One of these nations that was in opposition later became what was known as the Roman Empire. The Roman Empire birthed what we would consider Christianity. The mature version of Christianity, as we know it, came through the Roman Empire. My prayer, as we come closer to the end times, my prayer is that people will see, the Christian people will see, the descendants of Esau will see the children of Jacob, the children of Israel. They will look at them and something will hit in their heartstrings, and they will put their arms around them in these end days. That is the walk of God that we need to look for. There are many more of these stories to be found in the book of Genesis. You can read them and find ways that you too, without the blood of the tabernacle, can have a walk with God. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.